Hi, welcome to Foreigner in the Philippines. You know, I'm looking at one of the most common, well, for me, it's a very common question that I hear prompted by what people tell me. And a lot of the time, one of the most difficult areas of relationships is with family. And the way that you approach your family may be well based on whether they are what my title of this video suggests: cosmic family or blood family. Who is real? And what I've found is that when I've looked around at other people, not just myself, but I've looked around at other people and I've listened to their stories, and I am actually, even though I am a talker and a self-confessed blabbermouth, I do listen a lot, and I like to listen to people's stories, and I like people to tell me their stories, and I'm attentive and understanding, and I thank people for sharing those stories. And we've had some incredible stories which are ongoing, where people have come and they've said, this is what's happening to me, and I wanted to share it with you. And boy, I really, really appreciate that. So the cosmic family is the thing that is the subject, because what I find is that it's not just a matter of whether it's blood family. Are your blood family what I call your cosmic family? Argue with the title if you want, but what I'm talking about is that group of people, beings, spirits, disembodied or otherwise, that travel with you through an eternity of this place that we call the universe. And are they the ones that really are bonded to you? You may be with your family simply because there are lessons to be learned, and I've talked about this before, how the way that you approach all of the problems that you have, I don't think there's any doubt that you have created what you are living right now. And as one prayer that I quoted once before, I heard somebody say a prayer and say, thank you, Lord, for not giving me what I asked for, and instead giving me what I need. And doesn't that kind of sum it up? That if there is divine intervention, if there is some guidance going on, then it will be in terms of a higher power, a higher, if you want to call it the Lord, if you want to call it Jesus Christ, if you want to call it God, all of those things are fine by me. I don't have any argument with this, with any kind of terminology. But there is something which guides us, and if you tend to think of it as just your own intelligence, and well, that's fine too, but there is something which is an inner voice which guides us, and poets and writers and all kinds of thinkers and spiritual people who are into theology, they've long tried to pinpoint, identify who or what that inner voice is. And sometimes I think that nobody knows the answer to life and death because nobody ever made it out alive, did they? And then there was the other story. There was the the song, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to leave right now. I think that was pretty well the title. And that being the case, we're all, to a certain extent, are guessing about what is or what isn't. And one of the most difficult things to get on sometimes is that question of family, and whether the family that you have is actually the family that you will be reunited with, and it's not always blood. How many times have you met someone and within minutes you are completely at ease with them and find so many things that you have in common that you actually feel as if you've known them for a long, long time? And if this is an opposite, if it's an opposite sex friendship, relationship, it usually develops into either a really good romance, joining, a bonding, soulmates, and if it's of the same sex, then it becomes a really solid, long-lasting relationship. And it's one of those, the kind of relationship I'm sure that you know that I'm describing, is one where even if you don't see that person for a long, long time, and then suddenly the phone goes and it's him or her, and within moments it's as if you're just continuing a conversation that you had, and it may be 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 years ago that you actually talked to that guy. Now, very recently, well, just over a year ago, I guess, not so recent, but I went to see a friend of mine because I was on a trip to England. I went to London and I stayed with my son and his fiancée, and during that time, the one person that I really wanted to see again, that I knew where he was, I'd arranged to go and see him, and my son and his girlfriend very kindly took me there in their car, and we met in a McDonald's, and they went off and had their burger, and I sat and had coffee with my friend, my long lost friend. Well, not really lost, but long, where I hadn't seen him, and just like we never ever didn't see each other, just exactly the same as it always was. It was our old friendship, and I hadn't seen him for, let me see, about 20 years. So it gives you an idea that these bonds that you have with certain people, they are the ones that I call my cosmic family. Depending on how you believe and what you believe, for me, I tend to think in terms of, well, in terms of reincarnation of a sort. I think that you can have reincarnated lives which run at the same time, that they all run simultaneously, and sometimes there are people who can dodge from one life to another as it goes on. There are some people that can do that. There actually was one man on YouTube who offered to show you how to do that. Of course he wanted money. Well, what's wrong with that? But anyway, he would show you how to do what he called quantum jumping, and he could actually locate these lives which are running concurrent and get you to step over to the side. So rather than the idea of, I think what is probably the idea of the Buddhists, where a life runs out and then you have another life, so you're coming back, in other words, you're here for a while, you learn certain lessons, and then you die and you come back, or not. And if you have, depending on the way that you have treated your karma bill, I always think of it like a bill, if you've paid the bill, and that is if you have, as Christ always said, if you've managed to turn the other cheek when you reach these difficult to confront events or experiences, if you've been able to not retaliate, not seek revenge, if you have been able to accept what happens and learn from the lesson, then if you were thinking Buddhist-wise, you will be thinking, I'm not coming back again. But maybe it's more complicated even than that, where you are living in lives which are part of you, part of a different kind of universe. And they've been talking about this in quantum mechanics for a long time. Quantum scientists are saying that the universe as we know it is actually not any more real than these other universes. And it's noticed that atoms, the basic building block of the universe, they're pulsating on and off, so they're going like that. That's reality. That's in the off position, but it happens so fast that we don't actually know that it's blinked off. So if you think about it, maybe they have it right, and what you have is you have this. And when one blinks off, another blinks on. That would amount for two universes which are simultaneously happening and being created by you, because you are part of that other universe as well. So I tend to think of these different universes. I tend to think of these different things that are happening, and I think about the fact that there are universes which are shared by the people, by the beings that you have come a long way with, and they're not always your family. So if you sometimes look at your family and go, how the hell did I get born into that family, maybe that might explain it a little, so that you can look at things quite differently. And then you have these other people who are only friends. I try not to use that word only, because these friends can be your real family. That's my two penneth. So, thanks for looking in. This is A Foreigner in the Philippines. Bye for now.